Hey everybody, this is Dr. Green here with video 2 talking about financial and investment problems and how they are modeled and solved. Last time we did our retirement planning problem. Now we are going to look at a Taco Viva problem, which is a multi-period cash flow problem. So it's a little different formulation. So we're going to take a look at that. So Taco Viva is a small but growing restaurant chain. They have a construction fund or a sinking fund to pay for a new facility they're building. Construction of the restaurant is expected to take 6 months and cost $800,000, right? So it's going to take 6 months. It is going to cost $800,000. Taco Viva contracts with a construction company, requires it to make payments of $250,000 at the end of the second and fourth months, and a final payment of $300,000 at the end of the 6th month when the restaurant is completed. The company can use 4 investment opportunities to establish the construction fund. These investments are summarized in the following table. Determine the investment plan that allows Taco Viva to meet the scheduled payments while placing the least amount of money in the construction fund. So basically what we want to do is build a multi-period cash flow problem that says I have payments I need to meet, I need to make an initial upfront investment, and I want to minimize that initial upfront investment so that I can pay for building of these products. So we have our given data here. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to reformulate this data quite a bit and rather quickly. So you will see here the decision we're really making is, do we invest in investment A, B, C, or D? And do we invest in that investment in any given month, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 3, 5, 1, 4, or in month 1. Okay? So I'm actually going to take this down here. I'm going to paste it away, and I am going to set up some new information. First off, I am going to set up my investment decisions. Okay? So I'm going to rename these A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and A6. Okay, so this is investment A in month 1, investment A in month 2, investment A in month 4, 5, 6. Okay, you could also do investment decision. You could do something like this. Merge those, like the fund and the month, right? And we could just say these are all A's. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We can make this look really nicely. So there's a lot of different ways you can do this. If I'm going to do it this way, I'm going to make sure that everything is well centered. Okay. We have B with 1, 3, and 5, and then we have C with 1 and 4, and D with 1. So D, C, D. And I'll do the same thing just to be consistent here. We'll center that. And then I am just going to go ahead and use the format painter on these to get all that done. And there we go. So we have an investment. We have specific funds that are available in specific months. Now the other thing we do know is we have a rate of return on each one of these investments. You'll see here for A, I'm going to copy this 1.8%. For B, it's 3.5. For C, it is 5.8. And for D, it is 11. I am then going to go ahead here and get rid of all that formatting. There we go. We are in good shape. Okay, we've gotten all these kind of things. So we have an investment decision, a return, and all these stuff going on. So we have our given data really in place for the most part. The question we need to ask ourselves is, what are the decisions? Well, the decisions are the amount invested. Right? So I need to decide the amount invested in each one of these funds. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to mark these down as beautiful decision cells, or decision variables, or changing cells. And now we're going to start doing some things over on the right here. I have all this information, so I'm not worried about covering that up. So we have our return, we have our amount invested. So what we want to do is we want to work out our cash flow. We know that we are basically working across multiple months here, right? Construction is expected to take 6 months and cost $800,000. So we're going to look at month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and month 7. Okay, so we are going to do this. And we are going to label this, because this is what we're going to model here. We are going to do the cash flow at the beginning of the month. Okay, so we have 7 months. All these kind of things. And what we're deciding is how much do we invest in which investments at different points in these months. Right? You'll see our formatting is off here. That's because I still have all these cells down here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those since I translated all that. Okay, so, well, how does this work? Well, here is how we can model cash flow. Here's one way to do it. We know that in month 1, we can invest here. Right? If I invest here, I'm going to put a -1. Anywhere there's a 1, I'm going to put a -1. Okay? And we're going to make this percent because it's going to work out more nicely. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take the sum product of our decision variables and these percents. Okay? So you may ask, why am I doing this? Well, let's look at it this way. If I decide to invest $1,000 in Fund A during month 1, 1, 2, 3, that costs me $1,000. $1,000 flows out of my bank account. We're going to represent that as a negative dollar amount. Hopefully that makes sense. If it does not, spend a little time, work with this. It will come to make sense very, very quickly. Okay? So we can do the same thing for month 2. We only have one investment in month 2. That's that right there. We're going to go ahead and just make these all percentages right now because that's what we're going to be using. 100. Right? So we can do this month 4, month 5, month 6, month 3, month 5, month 1, and month 4, and month 1. Okay? So this is good. Okay? So we are in good shape here. Okay? So we have all these investments that we can make. We can see how these are working out. So this is my cost of investing on any given month. So I'm going to work through this, okay, and we'll get to month 7 here in a moment. Okay, so if I invest $1,000 in 2, you'll see that adds right in. We're in pretty good shape. Okay? So here is the question. We are going in here. The management of the company has this, requires 4 months and 6 months. So we have some required payments we're going to have to add in here in a second. And you can use these various investments. So since we have a fund that can be invested in every month, what is happening here is if I invest in month 1, I get some money back over here. Well, what money do I get back when it matures? I get back 1 plus my return. Okay? And we are going to make that a little bigger so you can see it. Right? So if I put in $100, I get 101.80 back in month 2. Okay, so all I'm doing is modeling my expense for investing and the return I get from that same fund. So here you'll see, right, it's equal to 1 plus this. Now we're going to go down here. And, well, oh, that copied poorly. So what am I going to do? Well, I don't want it to go left and right. So I'm going to make sure that there's a $sign in front of that L. So you'll see now if I do this, hey, as I go down, I'm actually in okay shape here. It's copying to the right place. Oops. Put that there. Good shape, good shape. And now you'll notice I can invest here. So that money would come back in the 7th period, right, in month 7. One mistake I made, I put all positive numbers here. These should all be negatives because they're expenses, as should these. Right, those should all be negatives because that's when I can invest. So I have how much I can invest, I get how much I get back. Okay? So you'll see investment B is 1, 3, and 5. So that means it takes 2 months for this to mature. So here I'm going to do the same thing. 1 plus my amount. I'm going to go ahead and lock that L down. And you'll see we end up with the same exact pattern. Okay? That is saying 1035 right now, or 104, and it should be 1035, right? So we'll format that so it looks appropriate. For C, we have the same thing. C, it comes back here, equals 1 plus this. Okay, and we'll do the same thing. We can lock that up. And you'll see that actually comes back to us in the last period as well. Again, here we want to make sure our numbers are looking accurate. And then for this one, we have the same thing, equals 1 plus my 11. And just for future goodwill and consistency, we're going to do that. so that we have my 111%. Now this has all become given information. We're going to format those cells. We're going to outline them with our nice blue. We are going to go ahead and fill them with our background color. And we are almost there. Okay? So the one thing we do know is in month 3, we owe a payment. Okay, so in month 3, we have a payment of $250,000. Now I'm going to scale these, so I'm only going to use 250 instead of 250,000. We also know that in month 5, we have a $250,000 payment. So I can do the exact same thing here. And the final $300,000 is due in my final month. We'll center all those. These are all going to be dollars, which is fantastic. And now the other thing I'm going to do, which may seem weird, I am going to put zeros here. Why am I going to put zeros there? Well, I want to reinvest all my money, right? I'm not using this money. It's already set aside. So I'm going to make a plan that reinvests my money during every period. Okay? So these are all going to be equality constraints. I want them equal to 0 because I basically want no slush fund rolling around here. We're going to center those. And then the last thing that we are going to look at is this. We are going to say, let's look at the negative value of what I invest. Why? This is my total investment, right? I'm going to go ahead and make that a nice objective function with a nice black double-lined border. And we should be good, right? So because here I'm investing $100. This is my cost of investment, right? That's my initial investment up, right? And we should be good to go at this point. So let's see what happens when we run our solver. Okay, well, we find out that we have not been working at the beginning of our spreadsheet. So first, let's close all this. We're going to go ahead and cancel out. But you know what? I just want to move all this over. So real quickly, I'm just going to delete my columns. Slides it right over. Fantastic. Select this. I want to minimize my investment by changing these cells such that this is equal to this. Great. I'm going to use simplex, make unconstrained variables non-negative. Let's see what happens when we solve our problem. Objective cell contents must be a formula. Oops, I entered my objective cell incorrectly. Let's see what happens when we solve. Should take a second here. And there we go. We are going to invest $741,000 and $741,360 to meet our $800,000 in payments. And you can see exactly where we are going to make our investment decisions. I am going to format these as dollars. Uh-oh, lost that. Let's bring it back. I'm going to format these as dollars so this looks good. So you'll see we're going to make 3 investments in investment A in months 1, 2, and 4. We're also going to invest in investment C in months 1 and 4. And that will be enough to cover all of our costs. So there you go.